Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and this is a vlog wherein I would be showing you our trip to Belur and Halebidu from Bengaluru. The first place that we visited was Belur, and just like if you've seen my previous video to Talakadu and Somnathpura, this time also we left a little early and we carried the lunch and breakfast with us. Because during the corona times we really didn't wanted to eat anywhere outside. We left at around 7:40 from home, and this is a long route which is around 230 kilometers approximately from Bengaluru, where we took a route from Pune, Nelamangala towards the state highway that goes to Mangalore. So on the way you can visit Shravanabelagola, but you'll have to leave little early, probably 5:36 if you have to also cover Shravanabelagola. But we didn't visit Shravanabelagola, we went directly to Belur. Okay, now there are around 4 to 5 toll plazas wherein you have to pay cash. Now if you have these kind of fast tags, then it would automatically scan and you don't really have to spend a lot of time paying the cash in these toll plazas. So ensure that you have fast tags if you're traveling in your personal vehicles. In fact, we didn't really experience heavy traffic on the road. I'm not sure if this is the normal situation even without corona, or is it less traffic because of corona. I'm really not sure, but the road is really good, well maintained, and the journey would take around 4 hours or so. And of course, if you're stopping here and there for lunch and snack and breakfast and other things, probably it would take a little longer time. So it's always better to live early. You should always start early in the morning so that you can finish the whole trip in a single day and come back home on the same day. That's exactly what we did. The best season to visit Belur, Halebidu, or any places which is around Hassan and Mangalore would be between September to February, because summers and rainy season would be very extreme in those places. Okay, now before we reach the temple, I would like to give a small brief about it. And I've made separate videos for Belur and Halebidu. This particular video will be about Belur, and there's a separate video which will be about Halebidu, so do check out for that. So the temple in Belur is called as Channakeshava temple, which as per inscription is called as Vijay Narayana temple, which is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. Now Channa in Kannada means beautiful, and Keshava is one of the forms of Vishnu, and hence the name as per the locals, since the idol that is worshipped today is considered to be very beautiful, it is called as Channakeshava. Now this temple is dated to around 1117 AD, and they say it took around 103 years to complete this beautiful temple. Now this temple is considered to be a symbol of victory over the Cholas at the Talakadu. The stone that is used to build this whole temple is Balapada Kallu, which is also known as a soapstone. Now Vishnuvardhana was the king who actually started the construction of this temple. The construction continued during the era of Narasimha Ballala and got completed during the era of Veera Ballala. Now as per inscription, there were 5 temples called as Panchanarayana temples that were built during the same time when this temple was built. One is this, that is Belur Vijay Narayana temple. The other one that you see is in Melkote, the Cheluva Narayana temple. Then one more you have in Tondanur, which is called as Nambi Narayana. In Gadaga you have Veera Narayana, and in Talakadu Kirti Narayana, which I've shown you in my previous video to Talakadu and Somnathpura. So do watch that video as well. And the most amazing part of this temple is that the whole temple is not built with any concrete or cement. It is with an interlock system, that is, each stone is placed with an other stone through an interlock system. Now, how they did it, or how it is actually placed, is something that is probably not something that I can really imagine. You guys will have to go there and see this beauty all by your own to understand how beautifully it is actually done. And just a clarification to all you guys. Now, whatever I've explained in this video is whatever that I've understood about the temple. It's best to my knowledge. Whatever I know is what I'm explaining here. And what I recommend, as I already mentioned, is definitely to hire a guide, because in spite of all this explanation, when you go there, you'll simply go blank. So please do hire a guide. Okay, so we have reached Belur and we have parked our car in one of the lanes very close to the temple, and there's a little walk that we have to do towards the temple, because anywhere near the temple the parking is difficult to, it's very difficult to find parking. And I'm carrying an umbrella with me because it was a little sunny out there. And of course, it's a must if you're going during off season, that is during summer. It's going to be very, very hot, so you got to be prepared for that as well. Now, this is the entrance to the temple, which is called as Gopura. Now, why is it called Gopura? Now, there is a reason for that as well. If you see the two ends of this Gopura, you see it is made in the shape of a horn of a cow, and Pura in Kannada means a place. So Gopura means a sacred place. So this is a sacred place that you are visiting. Jakanachari was the main sculptor who was involved in the construction of this temple, along with a few more people who were involved in the construction of this. And what you see here now is the main structure of the Keshava temple. So let's go inside and find out more. The whole temple is built in the Dravidian style, and it's on a platform that is called as Shikara. So you have to climb a few steps to enter the temple. And as we reach the Shikara, you see this carving just on top of this main entrance door. Now guys, wherever I need to explain a particular carving, I've shown in the form of a picture to get a proper visibility of it, because it's in a certain height which is difficult to show in the form of a video. Now, okay, in this particular entrance, which is also called as Torana, what you see here is Garuda, which is the Vahana of Vishnu, and just on top of Garuda is Narayana. And the circular carvings that are shown around this Narayana and Garuda is the Dashavataras of Vishnu. Now, all this is made of a single stone. Now, people, if you observe this very carefully, this whole carving is such that it is hollow from behind. That is, you can poke your fingers in between. It's cut like a paper. So intricate and so precise. Probably it's also very difficult to cut something like this, probably even on a paper, which they've actually done on a stone. Unimaginable. What you see in the center of this image is a Shila Balike. Now there are around 42 Shila Balikes around this whole temple. This particular Shila Balike is called as Darpana Sundari. Darpana means mirror, and if you see very carefully, she is holding a mirror which has a frame around it and a clamp to hold it. So she is admiring her beauty with this mirror, and this is also a symbol of our KSTTC, that is our tourism department. And all the Shila Balikes here are all carved out of a single stone. And if you see this particular one, it is just the same in most of the Shila Balikes, where the intricate and detailed carving is shown. The creepers around her, and the waist belt, the necklace, the kadga on her legs, and the bangle, everything, I think it's shown very beautifully on most of the Shilabalikas that you also find here. Now what you see here is the emblem of the Hoysala dynasty. Now it is Sala who is killing a lion who is considered to be the founder of the Hoysala dynasty, which is there on either side of the entrance to this temple. And there are two Dwarapalakas, Jaya and Vijaya, outside and also inside the temple. I'll explain all these Shilabalikas that I'm showing you now a little later in this video. Now since we visited the temple during the Christmas time, it was a bit crowded, so we decided to go inside the temple and then see the exterior of this temple. So let's go inside and explore the temple. In fact, Belur temple is very famous for the inner beauty of the temple. So this is the inside of the temple. There are 48 pillars and each pillar is very different and unique from the other. And this particular pillar is made of a single stone and it's called the Narayana pillar. And if you see, it is having an embossed 3D effect, and it also it's believed that the entire temple, it's like a highlight for the entire temple, and it looks really very beautiful. This is a must watch pillar. It is also worshipped twice a day, in the morning and evening. While you are here, do watch the intricate carving that is made on this particular pillar. It's very intricate, and actually it is a bit hollow also at certain places on this pillar. Now if we watch very carefully here, each pillar, they are in different shapes, and some are in umbrella shape, diamond shape, star shape, flower shape, and this one here is in the shape of a bell, they say. So I mean, the carving on them, they say, are the kind of necklaces that the queens used to use, and the waist belt, it is carved in such beautiful intricate way. Now the highlight for the whole temple is this central block. If you see this very carefully, the central part of this block is in the form of a linga which represents Shiva, that one there which I am just showing you now, and this whole structure is in the form of a flower which is a representation of Brahma, and the image that is there on that linga is nothing but Narasimha, and there are 4 Shilabalikas all around this particular central block, which is placed in the angle of 30 to 40 degrees. Now this central block is around 6 feet in depth, and it has all the shapes starting from square, hexagonal, octagonal and circle, and it is around 14 feet in width and 25 feet in diameter, which is they say is made of around 56 pieces of stone that are all interlocked and made to look as one whole piece or a structure. Now what holds all these pieces together is what is there in the center that is hanging below. It's called the keystone. If that is removed, it is said that this whole dome will collapse. Isn't that an amazing mechanism? Something that is out of imagination, which almost 900 years back even thought of. This is a beautiful, marvelous thing that you have to come visit and see this beauty. Since all the Trimurtis are shown in the central block, it is also called as Bhuvaneshwari. There is also a circular dancing stage just below this particular central block. Now there are 4 Shilabalikes on 4 sides of this central block. The first one here is called as Gandharva Kanye, and she is considered to be the most beautifully carved sculpture here because of her ornaments, and even the headgear, which is made of cloth, is so intricately carved from behind. If you can see, with the crown and the creepers around, the bangles, the anklets, the waist belt, everything is beautiful about this carving. Now this lady here is casually standing and trying to squeeze her hair, which is wet, and the droplets, usually when we squeeze our hair, the water droplets fall from below the hair, and that's exactly what is shown here in the sculpture. Beautiful. This particular sculpture is called as Mayura Nartaki. Now, if you watch this or observe this particular sculpture very carefully, you see a bird there, and the bird has the face of a parrot and the body of a peacock. That's the imagination of the sculpturer here. Also, there are 2 bangles on the left hand of this idol, in which the first bangle actually rotates, and now this bangle is not actually placed inside the hand, it is carved out of the same stone. Isn't that amazing? Now this one here, what you see is Shantala Devi. She was the wife of King Vishnuvardhana. She was also a dancer, and hence this particular sculpture is not in the form of an apsara, but is in the form of a nartaki, because she was a dancer who used to perform on the stage here in front of the Lord. Now what you see here is the main deity, Lord Channakeshava, and just above that is the Makara Torana. Now what is this Makara Torana and why is it called so? Now the carving that you see here is made of a single stone. Now if you observe this very carefully, you see the 2 imaginary creatures or animal on either side of this particular carving. Now that imaginary animal is called as Makara. That is, it has 7 animal parts that are combined into one animal. It has the body of a pig, legs of the lion, mouth of a crocodile, elephant trunk, cow's ears, monkey's eyes, and the peacock tail for the beautification. Now this is the imagination of the sculpture, and the central deity that you see here is Vishnu with his wife Lakshmi. Do you see the borders with gaps in between? They are made for air circulation inside the Garbhagudi. This is Jaya and Vijaya, the Dwarapalakas. This is the main deity, which is called Channakeshava. But though he is a male god, he is worshipped and also dressed in the form of a female called Mohini. Because as per Puranas, it is believed that Vishnu takes the form of Mohini to kill the Rakshasa Bhasmasura, and hence the deity here is worshipped with the kumkum on the forehead, the waist belt, the bangles, and the sari is also worn to the Lord here. Another attraction to this temple is this Mohini pillar, which is considered to be made of a single stone, and the sculpture that you see here is the Mohini avatar of Vishnu. Now this is so beautifully carved is that the light can actually pass through all these hollow carvings that you see here. You can see this, the crown here, there is this light that is being passed through it, and this is the toe, the second toe of the sculpture. They say if it is longer than the remaining toes, then it means that she is a very dominating person in the house. And here the rays of light are passed beneath the feet, which is also considered to be a very necessary feature for a beautiful female or a woman. The whole pillar is so beautifully made, a 3D embossed feature is what you see here, and a must watch pillar in this whole temple. You see that there on the ceiling, it looks like an old wooden temple door. It is carved in such a way. And this particular pillar, which is in like a shape of an ornament, you see those very intricate carving there, which actually looks like a long chain, and this one looks like a waist belt. These were some of the inspiration, I think, today we take to make the jewelry designs, and you see that there, so beautifully carved. How intricate are these carvings? You just have to come here and admire the beauty all by yourself. This is something that this video or whatever pictures in whatever phone or camera that I take cannot justify the beauty of these carvings here. These are also called as Panchashila Stamba because they are made of 5 stone blocks which are placed one on top of another through interlock system, as has already been explained to you guys. In fact, it's so hard to imagine that the whole temple is standing so tall for so many years, and it is not even been made using any cement or any concrete. Amazing. Now to see the exterior of this temple. Now on either side of this main structure you find these small structures which is also having the deities of Vishnu Avatara with the Sridhara, which is there on either side of the main entrance to the temple. Unfortunately, some of the idols here or the sculptures here have been actually damaged and stolen away by people. If you see those empty spaces in between these sculptures, some of them have been stolen, some of them have been broken, and you see that space there which I'm showing you with this arrow mark. That is how the interlock system used to work. There is a hole that is made on top and bottom, and the idol or the sculpture used to be fixed in them. This temple was actually an open temple. That is the open temple in the sense it did not have all these walls that you see today. The vertical walls with holes that you're seeing were built by the kings who later took over from Vishnuvardhana to protect it from the enemies who were trying to attack it, or even from the thieves who were trying to steal ornaments and other things from inside the temple. So all these vertical walls that you see around the temple was built later, and it is very evident or is visible if you see the pillars and the walls that are attached to it. It is probably some kind of cement that they have used to attach these vertical hold. They are all carved by the sculptures, but it was not made when this original temple was made, and was actually attached to this open air temple a little later by the later generation of kings who took over King Vishnuvardhana. There are many Shila Balikeyas around the temple. I'll explain a few of them to you. All these are made of a single stone and placed in an angle of 30 to 40 degrees. In this one, you see a woman trying to chase a monkey which is trying to pull her dupatta. And if you observe very carefully, you can see the smile of the monkey which is naughty, and the woman's leg is so beautifully carved here as well. You see the carving of the anklet and the toe ring. Most of the Shilabalikes have these ornaments along with all others as well. And this one here, you see a woman trying to break a branch to make it her bow and arrow. And in this one, if you can see, the Apsara is asking her dasis on the left and right hand side to give her holi to play, and they are filling the holi and giving her and asking her to play. What an imagination, correct? In this one, the Apsara is holding on to a branch as a dasi is removing a thorn that is stuck on her feet. Now in this one, amongst all the 42 idols, Shilabalikes that you see here, this is a male idol that you see, which looks like Krishna with a flute in his hand and a knot behind. You see that hair behind, and a beard also you can see actually. Now in this sculpture, you see a lady here talking to a parrot, or she's speaking to a parrot, which was earlier a mode of communication. Pigeons and parrots were the messengers, and that's what is shown here. This idol is called as Rudravina because she is holding an instrument, and it is so beautifully shown here that even the string, the single string on the instrument, is also carved with the stone. Now all these idols are carved of a single stone, and you observe that ornament, it is hanging from below her neck and it is in air. How amazing is that now? And that intricate carving of the creeper on top. But this one is my favorite, for many reasons, of course. Firstly, the posture in which this lady is wearing her earring, and actually, she's walking fast to go somewhere. Secondly, the ornaments and the waist belt, the dress and the dupatta also, which is hanging in the air. I can't even imagine that it is actually carved of a stone, because this is something it is difficult to do even on a piece of paper. And you see that earrings and that bun on her hair with that curly hairs in the front and that creeper behind. How beautiful is this? And today these designs that you see on the ornaments and that huge big earrings, I think they are so trendy today, right? I think the inspiration and people those days were so advanced than what we are today, correct? Even the fingers on the hands are so intricately carved and shown here, right? It also seems that in this temple you see around 600 plus hairstyle designs on different idols like this. That's a huge collection, right? And this one here is a nartaki. You see below, the dasi is beating the drums there for her to dance. She is a Kiravani who is holding a message in her left hand. You see those fingers with a message in her hand? Now this one is a repeat of what you see inside, the lady squeezing her hair. She's called Kesha Singari. This lady here is making her hair curly and watching herself in a clamped mirror, and you can actually see the hairs between her fingers. Amazing. In this Shilabalike, the lady here, you see her face a little blown up because she's holding a mango in her right hand and eating it. You look different while you eat. I mean, your face looks very different, right? And that's exactly what is shown here in this idol. Okay, now if we observe very carefully the walls, here you see some carvings. Most of them are mythological and epic stories. Now this one is from Mahabharata. On the right hand side, you see Bhima pouncing the elephants, because he has the strength of thousands of elephants, they say. And on the left hand side, the war is going on and Bhishma Pitama is lying on the bed of arrows.
This carving, which is in the entrance of the temple, is also the one who constructed this temple, King Vishnuvardhana. Towards his right is the Rajaguru Ramanujacharya, and towards his left is his wife Shantala Devi. Out of almost 10,000 idols that were there here, so many are missing. You see there? Now this one is a humorous carving. A man falling in love with a woman who is shown here with a donkey face. It means that at the age of teenage, any woman would look beautiful for a man. Now, what a thought. Now, should we call this a progressive thinking? Okay, now do not forget to observe this particular Shila Balike on the left hand side very carefully. Now if you see this, the two arrow marks here are actually showing the very intricate and filigree work that is made on those creepers behind the idol. Now it is like in layers. Though it is made of a single stone, it is made in such a way that you can actually poke your fingers into both the layers. Okay, now if you see this even carefully, you see a lizard on the left shoulder of this idol. Now here there's a lizard which is actually trying to capture the ant which is sitting on a jackfruit. If you see the arrow mark there, that's the jackfruit on which there is a small carving of an ant which the lizard is trying to capture. It actually shows the circle of life. How thoughtful. In the entrance, you see these two small structures on which there are few carvings, and inside that is an avatara of Vishnu. Now it's called Sridhara, and you see that the dress on the Vishnu, the way it is carved so beautifully. You see that chakra of Vishnu, it looks like it is this cycle. Today what you see, the cycle tire with that chain, they had thought about it years back, even before it was actually invented. Great. In fact, you see lot of today's invention actually in these carvings even before they were actually invented. You see that on top, the false ceiling. So now we have reached almost to the back side of the temple. Now this whole temple is divided into two parts. That is Jivatma, which basically is in the front, which depicts all about human life and the Shila Balikes and everything. And on the back side, which is called as Paramatma, is basically having images of our mythology and epic. Now you need to observe these things very carefully. If you see in the base of the temple, you have lots of elephants which are unique to each other. They say there are around 644 elephants that are carved here. Now they are an indication that they are the symbol of strength, and that's what they expect from the king to be. And on top of that are lions, courageous, horses for their quickness and speed, and then the flowers. And this is how a king is expected to be. Now these are the multi-storied buildings with balconies. Actually there are space in between all these balconies that you see. I mean, what we think today was something that they built then. Do you people see the design on the ceiling, the design of the balcony there, and the necklace shaped or the necklace design brackets? I mean, it's amazing and mind blowing. This one, what you see here, is something that is attached to the Garbhagudi completely behind the temple. It seems that this was not there initially when it was constructed, and it was built later by the kings who later took over, King Vishnuvardhana, and that's why this soapstone that was that you see here is a little different in color, and you see those railings, the design on them, I mean, very intricately done though. You can actually clearly see here how it has been attached to the Garbhagudi. It was basically made to protect the Garbhagudi from theft and other miscreants. This single long stone, which is carved in such a way that it collects the water from the Abhisheka, from the Garbhagudi of the idol, it is almost 6 to 7 feet in length. Not everyone is allowed to enter the Garbhagudi, and hence this Vishnupada is made outside. And the lotus carving is an indication of Lakshmi inside the heart of Vishnu. Meanwhile, as you see the temple, don't forget to admire this beautiful surrounding as well. And this one in the front is the Vishnu Avatara, that is Narasimha, where he's killing Hiranyakashipu and wearing his intestine, smaller intestine, as a necklace. And guys, don't forget to go visit all these structures that you see around the temple. They have something for you to know as well. But you know, I cannot cover that in this video, which is already so lengthy. Yeah. In fact, there's so much more to explain, but what I'm doing here is only giving you a brief about this whole temple. Do you see those layers and the way the stones are actually interlocked and kept one top of another? I mean, how did they even do this? Whenever I visit such place, you know, it just blows my mind. And the whole temple is in the nakshatra akara, or you can call it as star shaped. And what you see right in front of you is actually Shiva, who is doing a tandava on a Rakshasa called Gajasura, where he kills Gajasura and rips open his body. And you see those two legs of the elephant on the top. He's ripped open the body of the elephant, and he's dancing inside. I mean, all these are imaginary sculptures, and definitely these sculptors then did not even have a photo as reference, and still with so much of precision, all these weapons, the jewelries on the shilabalikes, everything is actually, it is shown so beautifully. It is something that people even today, after having so many references, I don't think can make something as good as this. I hope you all agree. And also people, in spite of knowing the difficulty in making this and the effort and knowing the heritage and culture and everything about these monuments, I see a few miscreants who would come here. They try to remove these idols, these sculptures, write their names on these stone walls. I mean, it's such a wrong thing. I don't know why they even do it. But if you see any such people when you visit such places, do give them a warning, because that's the only way we can protect these beautiful monuments for our future generations as well. It took almost 1.5 hours for us to see the whole temple, so be prepared for that as well. And what you see here is Rati and Manmatha. Manmatha is having a sugarcane in his hand and Rati a fruit. This one is Arjuna hitting the eyes of a fish by looking at its image in a bowl placed below. It is believed that this particular sculpture had actually a bow and arrow in his hand with a string made of stone, but it has been destroyed by some miscreants. So sad.
You may have also noticed that there is a variation in color, this natural stone color with which this is made. Some are blackish, and some have a lot of shine, and the others do not have. I guess you have noticed that. And you see this gap here. It is actually a layer on which this particular whole stone rock is carved and actually interlocked and kept on them.
And guys, do not forget to observe this. There is an inscription there
which is about a donation made by Appaji Appa
for the service of the god by selling his land way back in the 16th century, or probably in the beginning of 17th century. It is written in Nudigannada.
If you're from Karnataka, then you would be knowing D.V. Gundappa, who is actually a very great poet of Karnataka, and he's actually written a
collection of poems called as Somnathpura Geetegalu,
basically which describes the beauty of all these Shilabalikes that you see here.
And the names for these Shilabalikes are also derived from the names given by this poet.
Do take time off your busy schedule and do read it.
Friends, I hope this video would be of some help to all you people. If you're willing to visit this place, I hope this serves as an inspiration for you to go and see this beautiful, I would call this one of the wonders in the world, and it has to be so because these are not things that you can build today in whatever way possible, in spite of having the advanced technology. That I don't think this perfection and this precision can be really obtained with a machinery which people actually built with their bare hands. These are marvelous pieces of heritage that we need to save and protect for probably many, many more generations to come. And friends, if you've liked this video, give it a big thumbs up, share this with your loved ones, for probably it will be helpful for them as well. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for future notifications for any such videos in the future. The next one definitely would be about Halebidu. I am working on it and will be soon on this channel. This whole temple is built in an area of 4 to 5 acre of land, and it is completely as per Vastu. There is a Kalyani or a small water body which is in the Ishanya part of this temple, and in the Agni Mule they say there is a kitchen which is used for any holy occasion. They use the kitchen there, which is in the Agni Mule, and of course the temple is east facing. And what you see here right in front of you is called as a Deepa Stamba or Ekashila Stamba. It is made of a single granite stone which is around 36 feet long and weighs around 16,000 kgs. If you observe this carefully, it is standing with no support, and people those days also knew scientifically how to make it stand such a heavy thing without a support. Just imagine. Also, there is a belief that the diya used to be lit just on top there. This one, which is made of all single stones on all four sides, is called as Uyyale Mantapa. It seems that this was used as a cradle for Krishna during Janmashtami. What you see here to the left of the Uyyale Mantapa is a blueprint or a model to this original Beluru Channakeshava temple. And what you see here right in front of you, the golden colored pillar, is called as Garudagamba. It is present only in temples where a deity is worshipped. Okay, so as we bid goodbye to the Beluru temple, I somehow feel there's still so much left for me to show and tell about this humongous and a temple with so much of heritage and culture. So guys, if you're coming here, don't forget to hire a guide, because all guides here are trained from the tourism department and the Archaeological Survey of India. If you guys visit here, then don't forget to share with me in the comment section on how you felt the temple to be. Now, who doesn't want to take home a memory from such a place? Some of the artifacts here are made from the same stone that is used to make the temple. So you guys can think of buying something from here. Finally, saying a goodbye to Belur and heading straight to Halebidu. See you all guys soon in my next video. Bye bye. And thanks for watching.